Hi guys, Jordan from P&P Campers. Just going to do your handover video on your VW camper conversion. Registration down there. So this particular vehicle has always been very local to us, well, as of recent years. So we know the vehicle inside and out, lovely condition throughout. So under the bonnet here, on the left hand side, we've got your sort of the chassis plate and the weights and all that sort of stuff over there. Air filter sits inside this box just here. Power steering fluid in this reservoir just here at the front with the green top. Your brake fluid sits inside that reservoir just there. It says .4 on it. You've then got your engine oil dipstick just here with the yellow top, and the engine oil filling point just here at the top of the engine there. Nice and easy to get to. The washer fluid goes in through this reservoir just here at the front, and your engine coolant is in this reservoir here. There will be a little gauge there to tell you where to fill it to. So this battery here on the right hand side is your engine battery. The leisure battery sits underneath the driver's seat. If you're ever wondering what this little thing here was on the left hand side, which says cargo, that is your split charger. So basically what a split charger does is it takes some power from the engine battery there and sends half of it or some of it back to the leisure battery as well, so that all the time that you're driving, the engine battery or your engine is physically charging the leisure battery. So whenever you get to wherever you're going, you're going to be fully charged on both batteries. So that's why you have that. So just inside the passenger door, there's not a huge amount to show you apart from all of the numbers falling out. So the fuel filler point is from this little section just here. So you don't need your ignition key or anything to get that to open up. And that is diesel. So obviously the near side is where the sliding door is to allow you access to the actual motorhome itself. I will show you through the inside in just a minute, but I'll carry on around the outside first. So as we get to the back, there's not really much else to show you on this near side. On the back here, we've got the storage underneath the bed, which you can get to this from the front as well, as you can see, but you know, either way is fine. And then most of your storage for the vehicle is going to be in this. Well, you can access it from inside, but you can also get to it from the back just here. So quite a lot of storage in here, as well as your 240 volt trip switches. So the trip switches there are purely to do with when your hookup is plugged in. That's not got anything to do with the 12 volt. All the 12 volt stuff is inside, and I will run you through that in just a minute. What I could imagine is the jack and wheel brace kit just there, and then again just more storage in here. I'll just close this cupboard over, shut the door. You can see it's the T30 180 edition, so it's the 180 horsepower, and it's the Highline model here. So nice spec and model. Right, what else have we got? So where does the hookup go in? Just to remind myself. So the hookup gets plugged in just down here behind this little blue cover. So you lift that up, and that's where your hookup goes in. When you have the hookup plugged in, you'll have access to anything that's run from the main, so that'll be your 3-point sockets, and also the battery charger will come to life as soon as you plug that in as well. Now, obviously this is the long wheelbase version, so you do get a little bit of extra length. It makes a big difference on the inside of the vehicle, more so than the outside, but yeah, I'll get to that in just a minute. Just inside the driver's door, you've got your tyre pressures, telling you sort of what wheel size, what tyre pressure, all that sort of stuff is just there. Now in the cab itself, I'll just pull the seat back a little bit. So we're on 90,000 miles, which to be honest for this kind of vehicle is not high at all. You've got a really nice high spec in the cab here. So you've got the lights over here on the right hand side. You've got your electric adjusting mirrors from here and heated mirror from that middle part just there, so the mirrors will be heated. You can go through and use this, you know, your steering wheel functionalities here for the radio, turning up the volume, turning it down, flicking through the songs, etc. Your washers and wipers are on this right hand stalk, indicators are on the left, but you've also got your cruise control on the left hand stalk. So if I just show you how that works, so you basically just turn it on just up here, and then you can press set or resume on the left hand side, but it's also going up and down the speed as well. So when you do this, when you've actually got the ignition on, it'll basically just come up on the screen there telling you what's going on. But basically you just turn it on and then you can set and resume from here. You can also press like that to cancel, or go all the way across to turn it off. So on, off, but when you're in the on position, if you just do that just the once, it should cancel it off. So basically what that means is that the cruise control will still be engaged if you're here, but if you just press cancel, it will disengage and you'll be able to just push it back again to reset it if you like. But you know, it doesn't take much to get the hang of that, but that's just where that cruise control stuff is, just there. You got the 6-speed manual gearbox on this particular one. Reverse on these ones is lift up on the back here, over and up to the top left hand side. You got the air conditioning in this one as well, which is from that switch just there in the middle. Standard factory fitted head unit just there with a CD player on it and things. I'm not sure whether or not you're able to connect a phone to this one. I'm not sure if it's the this age of cab or not, but yeah, I'm sure you can work that out. You know, a lot of these things are kind of becoming a lot more standard now. But yeah, there you go. A few little bits and pieces up here. This is all just to do with the like the service stuff up here, if you want to reset any of that kind of thing. But that is about it really for the cab, to be honest, apart from the hazard lights working from there. Right, so I jump into the actual motorhome side of things now. So in the actual van itself, you have got these twin swivel seats here at the front, which you can sometimes call a captain seat. So you basically undo these two little nuts just down here, bolts if you like, and two at the front as well. Once you've undone those, you'll then be able to sort of twist this around. They can be a little bit fiddly to actually get to turn all the way around, but once you've done it, it's, you know, you can leave it in place. And obviously your rear bed as well there, which basically makes up just by folding over. It's really, really simple. There you go. So your kind of control panel area is this section here. There isn't really a specific control panel as such, but you have got essentially these three switches just here, which power everything that's 12 volt related. So one of them does the pump. I have written down on the habitation sheet which one does which. I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but I think this one here does your lights, this one does your pump, and this one does anything else that's 12 volt related. So probably these two things here. So you've got 12 volt socket there, USB sockets here. Yeah, so that one there does that one there, you see. So this switch on the left hand side does your two sockets here, middle one does your pump, and the one on the right does your lights. All right, you've then got this little thing up here. So basically you've got your 12 volt battery tester. So that's down there on the yellow because for two reasons really. I've got the light and the fridge on full blast without having a hookup cable plugged in. So it's a good example really, because you know, if for example you were away on holiday and you have a look at the battery tester and it's a little bit low like that is now, really you're going to either want to start the engine up for a little while to get that split charger working and charge the leisure battery up a bit, or plug a hookup cable in and then you won't have to worry about it. But that's just what that's there for, just to give you an idea of where your battery's at without having to get a voltmeter out. And then you've got your 4 fuses on the left hand side, which to be honest I don't know exactly which ones do what, but if you do get any issues whatsoever, you know, obviously you can come back to us, but if you do get any problems with anything 12 volt, it might just be worth having a quick look at these fuses, because that's pretty much the only place it can go wrong from. So yeah, worth a little look if you ever, you know, fancied having a look at that. Right, what else have we got? So, as I said, you can get to the back of all of that there and your storage in that cupboard just there. You've got, there's a little bit of information here for the fridge that you've got in this particular van. Fair amount more storage in there as well. There is a bit of storage in here as well, down low, just over the wheel arch there. So this next cupboard here is slightly more important. So you've got the freshwater tank in here. So when you want to fill this up, all that you have to do is unscrew the yellow nut up there and then take out the pump and the wire for the pump. Once you've done that, you'll be able to take that entire thing out. It's only being held in by this little thing down here and that, so it's not, you know, it's not going to slide around, but it's also not, you know, fully strapped in or anything. So yeah, if you wanted to take that out to either clean it or fill it up or whatever, or even empty it, then you just undo that nut there and take it out. So as long as you know, you can just see the level of your water in there. That's a 10-litre tank, I think. But to be fair, you know, if you get 10 litres filled up in there, it's going to last you quite a lot longer than you might think. The wastewater, just whilst we're on that sort of topic, the wastewater does just come out underneath. So if you were on a campsite that were a bit, you know, actually wanted you to have your waste going into a tank, then you will have to get a little roll-away tank to sit underneath the outlet, which is just basically down there outside, because the waste does just go straight out onto the ground basically. So that's what that is. Fresh water, as I said, as long as you've got that middle switch turned on, the pump will turn on when you open the tap, just as you saw there. So that water system there is working absolutely perfectly. You then got the next cupboard here, which is your gas locker, really. I mean, there's not really any other space for anything else. So I've got the front of it off for the moment, just so I can show you what's going on in here. So you've got the proper up-to-date or up to regulations sort of setup in here. So first of all, it's in a metal lined locker, or it's in a metal locker, which is completely sealed. And you've got the bulkhead regulator up there as well. The pigtail hose here, you can get about 5 years on those. So, I mean, I would have written it on the hab sheet, but if I can just see that. What does that say? 2020, so you've got till 25 to replace this one. The bottle itself, to turn it on, you go anti-clockwise around to the left to turn it on, and clockwise around to the right to turn it off. Once you've turned this bottle on, you will then have access to using the 2-burner hob. Now the way that I just lit that up, don't know if you saw that there, but literally just turn this knob around, whichever one you want to move, to turn on, sorry. Turn it around whilst pressing this igniter down. And that's how you light these up. So it really is as simple as that. Turn it off. We have checked the thermocouples on both of these and they're both working perfectly. That's the little clicky noise you'll hear in a second. Any minute now. Sometimes takes longer than other times. There you go. So that noise that you just heard there is the thermocouple basically stopping the gas from coming through. So now if I turn this round, because the thermocouple's made that noise, there's no more gas coming through. So it's isolated the gas from that thing until I then push it down and try to relight it. All right, so that basically, what that means is that you can't accidentally fill the van up with gas. That's essentially what that means. When you're finished with the gas, it's always a good idea to switch it off. So I'm going to do that now. And you should always turn the gas bottle off before you start driving. So the locker front, you basically put it around there and line it up to get it to go back on. It's a little bit fiddly with one hand. There you go. Turn these around so that it's nice and snug, like that, and that's your gas locker completely locked up. Right, so you've got the old hinge here, or the whole bracket if you like, was completely broken apart, so I have replaced that for a new one. So that basically just hooks over that little part there, and if I just show you how it works. So you can either, it's quite clever really, you can either have this little part out here like that and have it in the slightly open latched position, so that is still locked in place, it's not going to come open, or you can close that over and have it in the fully locked, fully closed position on the black part. So that's how that little bracket there works. So the fridge itself, it is 12 volt only. So these aren't the biggest fridges in the world, to be fair, but Dometic is pretty much the best brand for them. All you have to do to turn these on is press and hold on this button just here. So this will be turning it off now, obviously. So that is now the fridge completely off. If you want to turn it back on again, it is literally as simple as that. And then it will just essentially spring into life. You can set your temperature by clicking through here. And you just kind of gauge that by eye if you like. Just allow it to properly cool down for a couple of hours, and then if it's too cold, turn it down a little bit. Right, I'm going to turn that off for now, but I will say that this fridge will carry on working when you start the engine up and start driving, because it works just purely from 12 volt. And as I said, your leisure battery is this one just down here underneath the driver's seat. So if you ever needed to get access to that, it's the easiest way is normally just take the seat off. It's only normally a few bolts. But yeah, so that's where the leisure battery is. If you ever wanted any extras fitting, like a solar panel, anything like that, that's where it have to be wired up to. But yeah, it's always nice when they've got the leisure battery down there, to be fair, because once you've got the seat off, you've got really good access. We can do any of those extras, by the way, just in case you're wondering. We can do solar panels, reversing cameras, any of that sort of stuff we can do here on site. So the roof is very, very simple. Now, obviously, because it's a long wheelbase, it is the larger style roof as well. When it comes to putting the roof down, you've essentially just got these little clasps that you pull tight. So it doesn't really get much easier than that. The only thing I will say is that when you do pull the roof down, it's always a good idea, before you actually start tying up those clasps and actually physically tightening it down, just have a little wander around the outside and make sure that all of this fabric is inside of the rubber seal that goes around the roof, because if it's not, obviously it's open to the elements and it'll kind of get crushed up in the rubber. So that's where you'll start to get issues. If all of this fabric is hanging out and it's all over the place, that's when it'll start to tear and get a bit worn out. So just bear that in mind. Just have a little look around, make sure it's all in the completely tucked in position, and then go ahead and tighten it up as you please. So I think I've pretty much covered everything. If there is anything else that you think I've missed out, or anything you'd like going over again, just let us know. But otherwise, we look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks very much.